Noble warriors, the dragons chose their friends well. Long have our peoples waged war, but no more. Your fallen lie beside our own. By our words and deeds shall we honor their sacrifice.
You would make peace with UL'DAH then? We would be proud to call you allies. Then let us put the past behind us. We would be proud to call you our allies.
The enemy of our enemy is our friend. And you have proven yourselves worthy of our trust. It is the Guardians who are deserving of our fury. I shall see that my brethren learn the truth of this day, and rally as many as possible to the cause, till we meet again.
And thus did we make allies of the Amalja.
It would certainly seem that way. The Sultana will be pleased. Let's go and give her the good news, shall we?
I just had an interesting thought. Sometime earlier inside the Paglathan Tower.
What in Ralga's name happened here?
The gods only know. But you can bet these poor sods aren't here by choice.
Quickly! We've got to get them free!
Get back!
No! What have I done?
It's too late for them! We're leaving, now!
No! No! Don't you dare! We came together and we're leaving together!
Ah yes, that triumphant music to follow that up. To see the UL'DAH fighting alongside us brought to mind the Zun of the Crystari. I pray that our peoples can forge bonds as strong as those of our counterparts in the First. Okay, so a thought occurred. I don't think, he says strainingly, that this is what's going to happen. But what if Fandaniel's plan is to be the grand villain? To be the thing that brings the world together? If you can't have the ancient world, why not make a new one? It doesn't seem likely, but that would be quite a twist if in the last moments he revealed that. And it's like a, you have no choice but to kill me, and no one will know the truth, and I fixed the world. Or whatever, something like that. From what I could tell, there didn't seem to be any Imperials in the vicinity of the tower. Hopefully Arenvald will have used the opportunity to get in and out undetected. Though the day is won, thanks in no small part to thy valour, the Telefari are far from defeated. Yet, be that as it may, 'tis only right that we rejoice in Luna Bahamut's banishment unto the ether. It will take more than a single victory to wash away all the bad blood between men and UL'DAH, but one has to start somewhere. Tiamat did all she promised, and more this day, but I doubt she will be satisfied. Nay, she will fight on in defense of her children, wheresoever they may be. While it would be too much to hope that we have seen the last of Fandaniel, we have dealt his schemes a telling blow this day, and that alone is cause to celebrate. And celebrate I will, when we receive word of Arenvald's safe return. Yeah, we can do the dungeon with trust. When the dust settles, I think this is the last quest. I think. At least for part 1. Alphenor is minded to share his account of the events that unfolded in... What was it? It was Thanalan. Pagelthan. Yeah, Pagelthan. With the Sultana. Standing around here worrying is not going to help matters. Come, we must discuss the day's events with Pippin and her grace. Brave scions! Would that I could treat you to a hero's welcome, but I bear urgent news from the Fontisserie. Your grace, whatever is the matter? As our troops withdrew from Pagelthan, Thanalan, Pagelthan, yeah, they came upon 2 scouts sent to the nearby tower. I have yet to hear a full account, but it seems that one of them, your friend I believe, has been wounded, and was being dragged away by the other. Oh no. I must go. Forgive me, your grace. Can you tell us aught of Arenvald's condition, your grace? The wounded scout. Naught save that it is grave. The chirurgeons tend to him even as we speak. The infirmary must be inundated with the wounded. If all of us go, we'll only get underfoot. Alex Estinian, would you mind going after Alphino? He may need some support from someone other than me. Very well. Thank you. The rest of us will see to the relevant people that the relevant people know what took place in Pagalthan. Come on then. Oops, that is not what I wanted to do. Right, we want to get to Alchemist Guild. And of course, there's not a crystal up here. You can teleport to here, but there's not a crystal here. I think that was quicker. I always forget. Yeah, it was. I always forget when it comes to like this area and the elevator. Where are we going? Where are we going? Alchemist Guild? Was that it? I don't have much of a memory. No. Yes. No, yes, no, yes. Children's Ward. Instead of standing around gawping, why don't you tell your friend to stop whining like an underfed dog? People are fighting for their lives in there. Please, tell me something. Anything. Another one come to see the lad in the silver armor? Master Demeliot is attending to him as we speak. If you would be so kind as to wait. What did Master Demeliot say? Tell me his exact words. Enough, Alphino, this isn't helping. But... you're right, forgive me. When we set off farewells to Arnvold, I was afraid that something like this would happen. But now that it has, all we can do is wait.
Fordola, have you been waiting here all this time?
We have done what we can. The rest is up to him.
May we see him?
I do not think that wise. You must let him sleep.
Thank you for bringing him back. He owes you his life. I just wish I had been there. Perhaps, I don't know. Perhaps I could have...
Could have what? Got tempered? Don't flatter yourself. You can't save everyone. No one can. Not even the warrior of bloody light. People die all the time, for no good reason. And those who take up the sword die quicker than most. If you're going to shed a tear every time a soldier falls on the battlefield, you'd best stay away. It's no place for the weak of heart.
It may be that victory cannot be won without cost. But all life is precious, and I refuse to shrug at its loss.
All life is precious! Oh, you need to grow up, little man. Before your sparkling ideals get everyone killed.
You're right. He is idealistic. But the world has more than its fair share of realists, like you and me. It's people like him who dare to dream that things could be better and make it happen against all the odds. They are the ones whose names live on forever. The heroes.
The battlefield's littered with would-be heroes. At this rate, you lot'll be next. And what'll become of your precious dreams then? They'll be gone. Like dust on the wind.
Dreams worth fighting for don't die so easily.
That woman, she plays at scorn, but her eyes are filled with sorrow. Sorrow deep enough to drown in. I know. There's nothing more I can do here. Come, let us rejoin the others. Her Grace invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to join her in the Fragrant Chamber. Your comrades have already arrived. Will the three of you be joining her? Or them? We will.
Your Grace, pray forgive us our lateness.
Think not of that. I understand a close comrade of yours was wounded in the line of duty. Arenvold. It was at the Alliance's behest that he risked all, and we are grieved to hear of his condition. Rest assured, he will receive the finest care our chirurgeons can provide. On that you have my word. Now, we would share with you the findings of the mission. Pippin, pray relate to our guests the details of Fordola's account.
First Bahamut, now Ifrit. Or Lunar Ifrit, as Fan Daniel would doubtless have it.
'Tis now all but certain that the towers were conceived to facilitate the summoning of primals by those imprisoned within. Less certain is the means by which the Telophoroi constrain the wills of said entities to enact their designs in defiance of the pleas of their victims.
Mayhap they do not. If mere proximity to the towers is enough to make loyal servants of the Empire's mortal enemies, it stands to reason that the same is true for those held captive. They invoke their gods for the good of Garlemald, and in their disturbed state of mind, summon a primal whose form reflects their own alteration.
It all begins to make sense. Upon closer inspection, I realized that the towers bear a striking resemblance to a much larger structure which Urianger and I observed from afar during our visit to the Imperial capital. Assuming it too is capable of tempering those in its immediate vicinity, it would go some way to explain the swiftness with which the Telophoroi managed to rally so many Imperials to their cause.
While the situation in Garlemald is indeed troubling, I fear we have more immediate concerns. Ifrit was not the only primal summoned. At approximately the same time, observers at several other towers bore witness to the emergence of further such entities. For a blessing, none appear to wield aught approaching the destructive power of Bahamut, and the Grand Companies are moving to deal with the threat even as we speak.
You need only tell me where they are, Your Grace. The Grand Companies? Yep, you need only tell me where they are.
Though we are aware that the task will not be easy, we would call upon the Scions only as a last resort. Pray, conserve your strength for now. After all, it was not so very long ago that you rid us of Bahamut. On which note, I am pleased to report that our talks with the Amalja have reached an agreeable conclusion. They have pledged their full support to our cause. It is our hope that this historic agreement will encourage other tribes to join us at the negotiating table. And I know that I speak for all of the Allied leaders when I say that we will welcome them with open arms at such time as they do. Of course, this was only made possible by the feats of heroism performed at Pagalthan. Moreover, we shall not allow the sacrifices of those fallen in battle to have been made in vain. As hope leads to victory, shall victory lead to a new dawn for Eorzea.
May these words ever be our guide, Your Grace.
Now, if you will forgive me, I must consult with the Syndicate on the matter of our new allies' integration. Till next we meet, my friends, I bid you safe travels and blessed respite.
Amidst this great push for peace with the beast tribes, we would do well to remember that old prejudices yet remain. It is a delicate political dance, and I do not envy the Sultana her task, nor any alliance leader. If there is no reason to linger, I will take my leave. Alphino knows only too well that sacrifices are an unavoidable part of conflict. But knowing something does not change how one feels about it. You yourself have shared adventures with Arnvald, have you not? Then I shall say no more. With the secrets of the towers thus laid bare, our duty to prevent further abductions taketh on new import. Fail in this, and our enemy shall push our negligence with a plague of primals. Even without the threat of tempering to contend with, the Grand Companies have quite a task on their hands. Regardless of her Grace's protestations to the contrary, it may be best to dispatch a few of our own to assist in the endeavor. Remind me to mention it to Tataru, would you? It is weird that they don't temper. The towers do, but the primals don't. By design? Though we have won the first battle against the Telefori, and made significant discoveries to boot, the war has scarcely begun. We must steel ourselves for what lies ahead. Right then, unless anyone has any objections, I think it's about time we return to the Rising Stones. And that includes you, Alphino. Arenvald is in good hands here. Of course, he would doubtless mock me for pacing about the infirmary. Let us retire then, that we might regain our strength and readiness for the coming challenges. If all are in agreement then, I shall let Kryl know to expect us. A hot bath and a hearty meal shouldn't be beyond arranging within the time available. It will be good to be home. I have some thinking to do. Yes, I'll try asking him. And thank you. I shall look forward to it. Our comrades eagerly await our return, and Kryl in particular has a few matters she's keen to discuss. One of which concerns you, Estinian. Believe it or not, you will join us, won't you? Fine. Really? I thought you said you were avoiding that Baldesion woman. If I refuse, she would only pursue me. Let's get it over with, shall we?
Welcome back. I expect you must all be exhausted. Ere you take your rest, however, I would beg a moment of your time. Thanks to Arenvald's selfless efforts, we may now be confident that we understand the function of the towers. But many questions remain regarding the reason for the summonings, and what lurks behind the looming edifice in Garlemald. Until such questions are answered, we will struggle to devise an effective strategy for thwarting the Telefori's stated aim. Nothing less than the destruction of this star. And so, given the gravity of the situation, I move that we petition the aid of Sharlayan.
'Tis possible the ancient knowledge preserved within our archives may hide a clue to our enemy's methods. But given Sharlayan's established policy of non-intervention, Our former colleagues are not like to aid us in its discovery.
Oh, I well remember what they're like. The Forum's barefaced refusal to assist you in the days prior to the calamity must rank as Sharlayan's most shameful act since the Exodus. But were the final days to be reenacted, it would spell doom for us all. Surely even they cannot turn a blind eye to that. I trust we are all of the same mind on this matter. Urgent as it seemed, I took the liberty of petitioning the Alliance for leave to act as Eorzea's emissary, and have since received their blessing.
I presume your role as a student of Baldesion will carry some weight with the Forum?
One can but hope. If truth be told, our organization has been a shadow of its former self ever since the disappearance of the Isle of THAL. But the name does still retain some degree of prestige. I only pray it will be enough. If there are no objections, I shall depart for Sharlayan at once. But before I do, I should also mention the other matter to which I would devote some time during my stay. After hearing what transpired in the first, I began to question the true nature of Hydaelyn's blessing, a topic I have discussed at some length with Y'shtola.
We were wondering, when was the last time Hydaelyn spoke to you directly?
Jesus. No, she didn't speak to me in the Crystarium. She spoke to everyone. I think it might have been near the end of the Dragonsong War.
When you regained her blessing, was it not? But never since. Not in all your time in the First, when you faced the Unsundered, the very heart of Zodiark.
History shows us that Hydaelyn is able to awaken the echo in her chosen, convey her will directly, and grant the blessing of light. To our knowledge, however, she has not sought to intervene in man's affairs for some considerable time.
Might not the explanation for that lie with her choice of champion? Mayhap she is content to trust in his judgment.
Mayhap she is. But following my initial discussion with Kryl, I made inquiries of my own, and as far as I am able to tell, Hydaelyn has not made her will known to anyone.
During my time in the First, the Oracle of Light spoke to me through Reen. But that was not the will of Hydaelyn. It was Minfilia herself.
Indeed. And while she and Hydaelyn were inextricably linked, Minfilia yet acted of her own volition. A messenger, yes, but one who spoke with her own voice.
I wonder, could Hydaelyn's silence suggest the presence of some disruptive force, perhaps? Some obstacle to communication? While I share Urianger's high opinion of your conduct, I see no reason why she would deny you her guidance altogether. Then again, who am I to say? The fact is, we simply don't know. But if the explanation is to be found anywhere, I can think of worse places to look than the archives of Sharlayan, and their research on the Ethereal Sea in particular. Resolved though I am to go, believe me when I say that I take no pleasure in the thought of leaving you a member short. Now of all times. Estinian, we stand on the eve of a struggle that will decide the fate of this star. One in which we Scions may play a telling part, yet we are but few in number. And so I must ask you again, will you join us?
You see the world the way you want it to be. I see the world the way it is. You are idealistic to a fault. But I know you would never turn your back on those in need. Never close your eyes to their suffering. And somehow, your deeds lend truth to your words, giving the lie to my doubts in so doing. I have seen others draw strength from your belief. In Ishgard, in Alamigo, you inspired them to stand up and fight. To win, no less. And even when you lost those you held dear, you carried their spirit with you and made their memory your guiding light. The burden of so many hopes and dreams would be too heavy for most to bear. But you bear it willingly, as you have shown me. Some dreams are too important to let go. If you have need of my strength, it's yours. After all you've done, how could I refuse?
Thank you, Estinian. Whatever challenges await us, I shall not falter. You have my word.
And now, I may bid you farewell. Safe in the knowledge that all is as it should be. In this little corner of the world, at least.
You will be sorely missed. Tread warily in Sharlayan, and do try not to let the Forum embroil you in their politics. A forlorn hope, I know, given the individuals involved.
I shall do my very best. Farewell.
Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace.
Well, does this one meet with your approval? Apparently not. Or could it be that you're still upset about the dragons?
You are unwise to remind me of so costly a failure. It will not affect our plans, I trust.
Oh, hardly at all. Though, admittedly, the chances of us being able to procure any more Mericidian dragons are rather slimmer following Tiamat's reappearance. Oh, but the seeds have been sown, my lord. We have only to wait for them to quicken. Speaking of preparations, is it safe to assume that you will be ready to control you-know-what?
The hour draws nigh. This nation, forged for Ascian ends, will finally prove its worth.
A mighty empire, now no more than an instrument of this star's destruction. What a pleasure it will be to put it to use. Which brings me back to our earlier topic. My lord, while I appreciate that it is not an easy decision, it really is past time you chose your weapon.
There is one that I have been meaning to test.
Well, well, not quite what I was expecting. Though I will say, it does seem rather apt.
They're really drawing that out. If I am to pursue this course, I must be prepared for the hardships that lie ahead. If you've need of my lance, I'll be ready. If not, I'll be reserving my strength in preparation for the next battle. Ooh, he's not done. But since you're here, I have a question. The Scions are in close contact with the East Aldenard Trading Company of Kagana, yes? I was wondering if they could place me an order for some sun-dried squid. I don't seem to be able to find any in these parts. The sudden appearance of the towers will surely not have escaped the Forum's notice. I would like to think they would be receptive to Kryle's request for cooperation in investigating the matter, but unfortunately their reputation would suggest otherwise. Though we knew not the full extent of the Telefori's schemes, preventing further abductions must take precedence above all else, and therein lieth the key to depriving our enemy of its most potent weapon. It strikes me as odd that rather than marching on one of the city-states, the Telefori have so far made only sporadic attacks. I doubt they'd go to the trouble of putting up all those towers, if that was all they had in store for us. None can deny that Heidelind's blessing has been a great boon to our cause, but much remains unknown with regard to her true intentions. Given anything we have learned from our encounters with the Ashens, we must keep our mind open to any and all possibilities. Amid all the fighting, it's easy to forget what we've achieved, isn't it? I mean, we cured Tiamat. Tiamat, for heaven's sake! You will tell me if I become insufferably smug, won't you? Because the way things are going, it feels like a definite possibility. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have a busy few moons. Not that that ever seems to be anything but. Oh, nothing. Not that there. Thancred's got me dispatching troops to every corner of the realm, which is not to say I don't trust the Alliance, because I do. But when it comes to putting down primals, no one does it better than us. Well, then you lot, more accurately. You won't catch me trading blows with a primal in the near future. But for every fell fiend you vanquish, there's countless meals to arrange, baths to fill, sheets to wash, stores to replenish, and the list goes on. Which is where I come in, and gladly, mind you. It's the least I can do to support the Scions who risk life and limb. My poor are involved. Oh, I wish there was something we could do for him, but we'll just have to settle for saying the odd prayer and keeping a roof over our heads. It wouldn't do to have him come back to a complete shambles now, would it? Well, that's enough of my rambling. Off you go and get some rest. If there are any developments, I'll promise you'll be the first to know. When the dust settles. Not for naught. Can we get... Yeah, seems good. So, with that, we've completed part 1 of patch 5.5. Ooh, I wonder what's going to happen in part 2. I feel like they're going to do something special. They could do something akin to like the Ultimate Weapon Ultimate fight, where we fight a bunch of primals at once, like with them swapping in and out and that type of thing. That would be pretty interesting. But I guess we'll find out in like a month and a half, maybe? Somewhere between 1 and 2 months. Because I think it's March is the only thing they've said for when Part 2 comes out. Anyways, with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!